At exactly 12:03 a.m., I heard the first sound. It came from below my feet. A slow, dragging noise. Like something heavy being pulled across the floor of my basement. I froze in the middle of my living room. The TV was on, but I muted it instantly. The house went silent. Then I heard it again. Scrape. My heart started pounding. The strange thing was, I live alone. I bought the house 3 weeks ago. A small 2-story place on the edge of town. Quiet neighborhood. Cheap price. Too cheap, actually. But the real estate agent told me the previous owner moved away suddenly. I didn't ask too many questions. At first, the house felt normal. Until that night. And the sound from the basement. I grabbed my phone and turned on the flashlight. For a moment I told myself, it's probably pipes. Or maybe a mouse. But deep down I knew something was wrong. Because the basement door was slowly opening by itself. Section 2, the basement. The stairs leading down to the basement looked darker than usual. My phone light barely reached the bottom. The air coming from below was cold and smelled like old wood and dust. I stood at the top of the stairs for a long time. Listening. Nothing. Just silence. Then suddenly, thud. Something hit the basement floor. I almost dropped my phone. My brain screamed at me to go back upstairs and lock the door. But curiosity is a dangerous thing. Slowly. I stepped down the stairs. Each step creaked under my weight. Step. Creak. Step. Creak. When I reached the bottom, my flashlight revealed the basement. Old shelves. Boxes from the previous owner. A rusty workbench. Nothing unusual. But then I noticed something strange. The floor had scratches. Long scratch marks across the concrete. Like something heavy had been dragged across it. And the marks led directly to the back wall. Section 3, the hidden door. At first I thought it was just a wall. Plain concrete. But when I looked closer, I saw the outline. A rectangle. Almost invisible. Like a door that had been sealed shut. My stomach tightened. Why would someone hide a door inside a basement wall? I ran my hand across the surface. Dust fell away. And then my fingers touched something cold. A metal handle. My heart started racing. For a moment I thought about going back upstairs. Calling someone. But curiosity won again. Slowly. I pulled the handle. At first nothing happened. Then, click. The wall moved. A narrow door creaked open, revealing complete darkness behind it. Cold air rushed out. And with it came a smell. Rot. Something inside that room had been there for a long time. And it wasn't supposed to be found. Section 4, the room beneath the basement. My flashlight shook as I pointed it inside. The hidden space wasn't big. Maybe the size of a small closet. But the moment the light entered the room, I wished I had never opened that door. The walls were covered in old newspaper clippings. Hundreds of them. Every single one had something circled in red ink. Missing people. Dates going back 20 years. And in the center of the room sat a wooden chair. Bolted to the floor. With leather straps attached to the arms. Like something from an interrogation room. Or worse. My heart was beating so loud I could hear it in my ears. But then I saw something that made my blood run cold. There was a camera mounted in the corner. Pointing directly at the chair. And the camera was still recording. Section 5, the video. A small monitor sat on the floor under the camera. Still powered on. Static flickered across the screen. I knelt down slowly. My hands trembling. and pressed play. The video started immediately. The camera showed the exact same room. The same chair. The same walls. But someone was sitting there. A man. Tied to the chair. His face was bruised and terrified. Behind him, someone stepped into frame. The person holding the camera spoke in a calm voice. A voice that sounded disturbingly familiar. Then the man in the chair screamed. And suddenly, I heard a sound behind me. A footstep. From somewhere inside the basement. But I was supposed to be alone. Slowly. I turned around. And that's when I saw the basement stairs. And the shadow standing at the top. Watching me. Section 6, the shadow. The figure didn't move. It just stood there. Completely still. Blocking the only way out of the basement. My flashlight flickered as I pointed it upward. "Hello?" I said, my voice shaking. No answer. The shadow slowly began walking down the stairs. Step. Creak. Step. Creak. The same sound I heard earlier. And then I realized something terrifying. The shadow looked exactly like the man in the video. But older. And he was smiling. The man stepped off the last stair. Now he was standing only a few feet away from me. My flashlight shook in my hand as the light landed on his face. He looked pale. Too pale. His eyes were sunken, and his smile was wide, far too wide. For a moment, neither of us spoke. Then he said something that made my stomach drop. "You weren't supposed to find that door." His voice was calm. Almost friendly. But there was something wrong about it. Something cold. I swallowed and tried to speak. Who are you?" He tilted his head slowly. "You bought the house," he said. "Didn't they tell you?" My heart was racing now. "Tell me what?" The man laughed quietly. "They never do." Section 8, the previous owner. The man stepped closer. Instinctively, I backed up toward the hidden room. "Relax," he said. "If I wanted to hurt you, I wouldn't have waited this long." That didn't make me feel better. "Are you the previous owner?" I asked. He nodded. "Yes." My mind spun. "That's impossible," I said. "The real estate agent told me you moved away." He smiled again. "Oh, I did." Then he pointed toward the hidden room behind me. "Down there." A cold chill ran through my body. "What do you mean?" Instead of answering, he walked past me and looked inside the hidden room. His eyes moved slowly across the newspaper clippings. Across the chair. Across the camera. Then he sighed. "I worked very hard to keep this place hidden," he said. 20 years of work. Section 9, the missing people. My eyes moved to the wall again. All the newspaper articles. All the missing faces. "Did you do this?" I whispered. The man didn't answer immediately. Instead, he walked over to the monitor and pressed a button. The video on the screen changed. Now it showed another recording. A different person tied to the chair. Screaming. Begging. I felt sick. The man watched the screen like someone watching an old memory. "You know what's interesting?" he said quietly. "No one ever looks in basements." He turned toward me again. "People hear noises, and they ignore them. People see strange things, and they convince themselves they imagined it." Then he stepped closer. "But you," he pointed at me. "You were curious." Section 10, the truth about the house. My mind was racing. If this man was the previous owner, then why was he still here? And why hadn't anyone found this room before? "Why are you telling me this?" I asked. He looked at me for a long moment. Then he said something that made my blood freeze. Because you live here now. I didn't understand. What does that mean? He smiled again. It means the house belongs to you. And everything inside it. My voice shook. I'm calling the police. The man laughed loudly this time. Go ahead. He pointed upstairs. The phone lines don't work. I pulled out my phone. No signal. Of course. Section 11. The door closes. Suddenly I heard a loud bang. The hidden door behind me slammed shut. The basement lights flickered. The room felt smaller now. Like the walls were slowly closing in. I turned toward the stairs. But the man stepped in front of them, blocking the way out. You're not leaving yet, he said. My heart was pounding so hard I thought I might pass out. What do you want from me? The man thought for a moment. Then he said something chilling. I want you to understand. The house. The basement. The door. He leaned closer. Because soon, you'll be the one protecting it. Section 12. The real horror. I shook my head. You're insane. The man smiled again. That's what the last owner said too. My stomach dropped. Last owner? He nodded slowly. Yes. Then he pointed at the chair in the hidden room. The house changes people. The door changes people. And sooner or later, he paused, looking directly into my eyes. Everyone who lives here becomes part of the basement. Then suddenly, the basement lights went out. Complete darkness. And in the silence, I heard something new. Not footsteps. Not breathing. But scratching. Coming from behind the walls. Like something inside the house was trying to get out. The basement lights went out so suddenly that my eyes couldn't adjust. Everything was swallowed by darkness. For a moment, I couldn't even see my own hands. Then I heard it again. Scratch, scratch. Scratch. The sound was coming from inside the walls. Not one wall. All of them. Like something was moving through the house itself. I quickly turned on my phone flashlight again. The beam cut through the darkness and landed on the man standing in front of the stairs. But something had changed. He wasn't smiling anymore. Now he looked nervous. You hear that too, right? I whispered. He didn't answer. His eyes were fixed on the walls. And then he said something quietly. It woke up. A cold wave ran through my entire body. What woke up? The scratching suddenly grew louder. Scratch. Something slammed against the inside of the wall behind us. Dust fell from the ceiling. The man stepped backward. That door, he said slowly, should never stay open too long. My heart skipped. You mean the hidden room? He nodded. Whatever is down there, it doesn't like being disturbed.